Hello and welcome to A Walk Through History, the first ever living wax museum featured at LaGrange Academy. Tonight, we hope that you experience history like never before. Please enjoy the live historical performances researched, written, and performed by LaGrange Academy's 4th and 5th graders.
My name is Ray Anderson. In 1973, I founded and traced my own modeler cockpit company. I worked with two presidents, Obama and Clinton, on environmental and sustainability projects. I was an advisor of the Presidential Climate Action Plan and the co-chair of the Presidential Council of Sustainability. I wrote 2 books and received 12 honorary degrees of sustainability efforts. And I passed on August 8th, 2011, and my family created Ray C. Anderson Foundation and Ray Day to honor my legacy. Ray Day happens once a year at Savanna, Georgia. It brings together people who support my vision of making the world a better place. I dedicate my life to helping the environment, and I hope others continue my legacy.
Hi, my name is Rachel Carson and I'm a biologist. When I was young, I found a fossil in the forest and discovered that place used to be an ocean. From then on, I became interested in the ocean. When it was time for me to go to college, I was thinking of majoring in English, but I switched to major in biology. I went to Chatham University and met a teacher named Mary Scott-Stinson. Mrs. Mary moved to Johns Hopkins University, so I moved because she was my life changer. After I graduated, I wrote around 30 books. One day, I saw news about DDT and how it was killing people. DDT is an insecticide that was used during World War II to kill life, but it is now killing people due to guns. So I wrote a book called Science Brain, and it persuaded people not to use it. I'm proud I stopped them.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Albert Einstein. When I was a kid, I had quite the temper and out there things, but my mind was sharp. So sharp that I had an IQ around 160. I was really into physics, so I researched the way our universe works. I developed the theory of relativity, which explains how time and space work together. I even came up with special and general theories of relativity, which help us understand how things move and why gravity works the way it does. In 1921, I won the Nobel Prize for Physics for my work on something called the photoelectric effect, which is all about how light can make electrons move around. I taught theoretical physics at the University of Zurich for 2 years. That is where I developed my most famous equation, E equals mc squared, which means energy equals mass times speed of light squared.
Hi, my name is Esther Lark, I'm Queen of Makeup. I was born in New York City to a poor family. I had to work at my family's hardware store to help pay the bills. I was inspired by uncle's success in facials, my love in skincare leading to a line of perfume, hair care, and handbags. With the support of my husband and children, and Times Magazine of the 20 most influential business geniuses of the 20th century, I never sat around and dreamed about it. I worked for it.
Pleased to meet you. My name is Gladys Smith, but you can call me Mary Pickford. You may have heard I'm a Canadian actress. I acted in and produced silent movies, which I filmed with no recorded sound. I even helped create a movie studio called United Artists with my friend Charlie Chaplin. My acting was so good that I became the first Canadian American to win an Oscar, which I won for Best Actress. I was the richest actress in the United States between 1915 and 1920, which is something I'm very proud of. I was the richest woman in the US because of my hard work as an actor and producer. I used my money, fame, and influence to help those in need. Most of the time, no one knew except for those I helped, and that's the way I liked it.
Hi, my name is Elvis Presley. I grew up poor in Tupelo, Mississippi. At age 10, I received my first guitar and learned how to play. I love to play church and bluegrass music. At age 13, I moved to Memphis, Tennessee. That's where I learned how to play the blues. With Sam Phillips' help at Sun Records, I developed my first signature sound. That's Alright was my first single. I also added some hit movements to my performances, which added controversy. Even today, 47 years after my death, I am regarded as one of the best-selling artists and one of the most significant cultures of the 20th century. Thank you very much.
Good evening, I'm Henry Ford. I founded the Ford Motor Company. I invented the Model T, the first affordable car for the public. I invented the moving assembly line to then mass produce the cars. Our first Model T was sold in 1908. Our production continued for almost 20 years. I sold the car for $850, which is the same as $25,800 today. Because I hated to create waste, I invented the charcoal industry. Ford Motor Company manufactured charcoal from wood scraps produced by its lumber operations in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. The scraps were burned, mixed with starch, and then compressed into compact briquettes. I then sold the charcoal to the public through the network of auto dealerships. Since then, Ford has become the manufacturer with the second most car sales in America, but we are quickly approaching first.
I'm Charles Goodyear. I was born on December 29, 1800 in New Haven, Connecticut. I'm best known for inventing vulcanized rubber. Rubber has been around since ancient times, but I found a way to make it more stable and useful. In 1839, I worked at Eagle India Rubber Company in Auburn, Massachusetts. One day, I accidentally added sulfur to a rubber mixture and found out it didn't melt when heated. Yes, I saved the rubber industry by making it strong, durable, and resilient for industrial use. That would later become more important in World War I, when they would use it for tank treads and other tired vehicles. That's when it became popular. Finally, that's how I made vulcanized rubber.
Hi, my name is Alexander Granville. You may not know me, but I'm an inventor. As a kid, I was always curious about the world around me. When I grew up, I invented the telephone. I made the first one by playing with electricity and sound. It was amazing. You could talk into one end and someone far away could hear on the other end. I also wanted to help deaf people like my mom and wife communicate with others. That's when I perfected the ideas for visible speech. Visible speech is made up of tiny symbols that show how our lips and tongue move when we talk. But that's not all I did. I also created the first metal detector, a device to help locate icebergs, and help start the National Geographic Society. From the telephone, invisible speech, and beyond, I've always been trying to make life better for everyone.
Hi, I am Walter Disney, better known as Walt Disney. As a kid, I enjoyed photography, drawing, and studying cartoons. In high school, I took photos and drew cartoons for our school newspaper. After high school, my brother and I moved to Hollywood and started Disney Brothers Studio, which later became the Walt Disney Company. We created Steamboat Willie, which was the first cartoon to have characters that actually talked. This was the beginning of Mickey Mouse in the 1950s. I decided to build a theme park in Los Angeles because I wanted there to be a place where parents and kids could both have fun. I died right from lung cancer right before I could see Disney World open, but I know my legacy lives on in everyone who visit my parks and watching my movies.
Hi, my name is Helen Keller. I brought a healthy baby, but after 19 months, I got very sick. No one knew what was wrong and woke up deaf and blind. My mom introduced me to my new teacher, Miss Annie Sullivan. During one of my lessons, she tried to write something in my hands, but I was not interested. She took me to the holes and poured something in my hands. I love how it felt. Since then, I was interested in what that thing called. She told me it was water. Since then, I've been interested in everything. I studied hard to attend Radcliffe College. After graduation, I became a social activist and wrote a book on my life and gave speeches to deaf and blind while traveling around the world. I want the world to know that beauty of the world is felt in the heart, not with the eye.
Hi, my name is Tasha Tudor. I am a writer and illustrator for children's books from New England. I'm known for living a simple life. I had chickens, I would chop my own firewood, and even put my own water. My illustrations reflected my love for my home, and people could feel my love just by reading my books. I used charcoal and pencils for my illustrations. I won my first Caldecott Award for my book called Mother Goose. You might also know one of my other books from its beautiful illustrations, The Secret Garden. I won a Walter Surf Award for Outstanding Art in 2004. I wanted to capture life's beauty in everything I did. I died when I was 92 years old from complications of a stroke.
My name is Ida Minerva Tarbell. I was one of the only successful female journalists of my time. I lived in Paris for 3 years, then moved to Washington to work with Gardner Green Hubbard, owner of Napoleon Portraits. My best-known book is The History of the Standard Oil Company. I uncovered secrets and information about wrong business deals that happened in the company, exposing their illegal monopoly. Because of my book, the Supreme Court made them break up their company in 1911. The Standard Oil Company became 34 smaller companies and was no longer a powerful monopoly. I died when I was 86 because of pneumonia.
Hi, my name is Kobe Bryant. My dad is an NBA player, Joe Jellybean Bryant. I wanted to be like my dad, so I started playing basketball when I was 3 years old. As a child, we lived in several cities in Italy, and when I was in 8th grade, we moved back to Philadelphia, and I attended Laura Marion High School. When it came time for me to enter college, I decided to skip college and enter the NBA draft in 1996. I was the 13th pick and played my entire 20-year career with the Los Angeles Lakers. I won 5 championships, 4 All-Star MVPs, and I won MVP of the league in 2008. I have 4 daughters, and that makes me a proud girl dad. I founded the Mamba Sports Academy in 2018 because my daughter Gianna started showing interest in basketball and also gave me the opportunity to pass on some of my knowledge and help her. And the Mamba Sports Academy has supported thousands of girls and boys, especially from underprivileged areas. Dedication makes dreams come true.
Hi, my name is LaGrange. I used to play first base for New York Yankees. I was born in 1903 and I had some pretty big moments in my baseball career. The first was the first time I played a game for the Yankees. If one of my teammates never got sick, then I might never have gone in. But I ended up playing over 2,000 consecutive games over the course of 16 years. During that time, I set records. I hit the most grand slams, 23 in my whole career, had 493 home runs, and around 2,000 runs batted in. I was diagnosed with ALS in 1939, but I still try to play the game I love. My determination earned me the nickname the Iron Horse because of my ability to play despite my illness and injuries. I eventually had to retire because of the effect ALS was having on me. July 4th, 1939 was named Lou Gehrig Appreciation Day at Yankee Stadium. Around 62,000 people gathered to celebrate my work and dedication to my team. They listened to me speak about my life and how I was given a bad break, but I still consider myself to be the luckiest man on the face of the earth. I died at the age of 37 in 1941, but I died having many people inspired across the country.
If you like football, you might be interested in me. I'm John Mayer, and I was a football coach and player. In my playing days, I was offensive tackle. In 1957 and 1958, I played for the Philadelphia Eagles and the Oakland Raiders. I stopped playing in 1969 because I hurt my knee and had to have surgery. My injury ended my time as a player. I coached for the Raiders for 10 years. Over the years, I won 112 NFL games, making me the youngest coach to ever reach 100 season wins. I was awarded the Sports Lifetime Achievement Award in 1992 and the Sports Emmy Achievement Award in 2009. I was such an important coach that made a video game after me in 1999. Now everyone all over the world play my game batted.
My name is Mary Elizabeth Murphy, but you might know me as Queen of Baseball. I am from Rhode Island and I was the first woman to ever play baseball professionally with the men. I loved playing ball as a child with the boys in my neighborhood. It was hard because girls weren't supposed to like baseball, but I did. My dad and brother always believed in me. Because of them, I never gave up. I made my dreams come true and I played first base for the Boston All-Stars for 17 years. Although the boys on the team were very happy I was there. But I'm so glad I never gave up. By following my dreams, I changed the game and now girls can play anything. How cool is that?
Most people might not know me, but for those that do, you probably know me for winning 11 championships. Barroso was a 5-time NBA MVP and a 12-time All-Star player. I went to University of San Francisco and played basketball there for 3 years. After graduating, I played basketball for the Boston Celtics for 13 seasons and coaching for 3 seasons after that. I became the first African-American coach of a modern major professional sports team in the USA because I coached with the focus on concentration and mental toughness being the margins of victory. I got awarded the Player Coach Award while coaching the Celtics. On July 31st, 2022, I died in my sleep peacefully beside my wife.
Hi, my name is George Herman Ruth. You may know me as Babe Ruth. I played professional baseball in the 20s and 30s. I started playing for the Red Sox in 1914, and over the next 5 years, we won 65 games. I hit a record of 11 home runs, and only to pass my own record, I hit 29 home runs. The next year, in 1920, I was sold to the Yankees. That sale was called the Curse of the Bambino because it took the Red Sox 86 years to win another championship. With my 15th season with the Yankees, we won 4 World Series championships. In 1927 on, I hit a record-breaking 60 home runs and ended my career in 1935 with the Braves. Once the season over, I ended my career and I had hit 714 home runs, which led me being inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I, Cy Young, made an unforgettable mark on the game of baseball. Born as Denton Tree Young in Gilmore, Ohio, I was drafted into the major leagues in the pitcher by the Cleveland Spires at the age of 23. Cy is short for Cyclone, a nickname I was given because of the vintage I was story with my fastball. With hard work and dedication to the game I loved, I became the winningest pitcher in baseball history. I pitched the first perfect game of the 20th century and had a total of 3 in my career. I was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame at the age of 30 in 1937. At the end of every season in the MLB, 2 pitchers won an award in my honor, the Cy Young Award. To win the award, members of the committee look at a pitcher's season stats such as the earned run average, strikeouts, and walks and hits per innings pitched, as well as team wins. To this day, there have been 67 Cy Young Award winners. I died November 4th, 1954, but not without leaving behind an unforgettable legacy.
Hi, my name is Amelia Earhart. I was the first woman to cross the Pacific on my own in an aircraft. But before that, I was a nurse's aide for World War I. I went to multiple colleges such as Columbia University and Penn State. I moved to California to support my family, and that's what got me very interested in aviation. I wrote more books about my flights, and I think people really liked them. Flying seemed so exciting to me, so that's why I decided to set a world record, but I disappeared at the end of a flight near Howland Island. My route started here in Oakland, California, and I was supposed to land here in Howland Island. My plane ran out of fuel, and that's why I crashed. My last recorded words were "We are on the line 157 to 337, flying north and south." People say they've seen me in my plane, but my disappearance remains an American mystery.
Hi, my name is Charles Lindbergh. I started flying when I was 21 years old because I had to let it know on Air Force Reserves. When I was 25 years old, I was the first person to fly across the Atlantic Ocean. When I landed in Paris, I was met with a huge crowd of people who wanted to see what I had done. After my flight, I went on a goodwill tour and down in my plane the Spirit of St. Louis to the Smithsonian. As I grew older, I became more and more worried about the environment. I helped protect Arctic wolves in Alaska, and in 1974 I died from cancer.
Hi, I'm Golden Chawla. I was born in Karnali, town in Haryana, India. I earned my Master's of Science in Aerospace Engineering at University of Texas, Arlington. I also went on to get my PhD at University of Colorado Aerospace Engineering. I started working for NASA in Houston, Texas in 1994. When I was 40 years old, I became the first Indian American woman to go to space, which earned me my spot in American history. My last mission ended with the death of me and my crew coming back to Earth. Greetings. I, Sally Ride, was the first female American astronaut to set forth into space. When I was a student at Westlake School for Girls, I met Dr. Elizabeth Moncus, who inspired me to pursue science, despite my parents not understanding my interest in the subject. I was planning to be a college professor and a scientist, but when I saw an ad in the school newspaper inviting women to apply to the astronaut program, I immediately applied. The class was soon known as the 35 New Guide and reported to the Johnson Space Center the next summer to begin training. When I went into space, I became the first woman to work the robotic arm. I spent a total of 343 hours in space in 2 separate missions. The space shuttle was exploded shortly after takeoff, but I survived. I retired from NASA in 1987 after 9 years of service. After I left NASA, I went to San Diego as a professor of physics and the director of the California Space Science Institute. When I was 61, I got pancreatic cancer, which I later realized was because of the Challenger's explosion. In 2012, I died with pancreatic cancer.
I, Neil Armstrong, have been interested in aircraft ever since I was little. When I was a child, I made toy model airplanes to play with. In 1947, I attended Purdue University on a naval scholarship studying aeronautical engineering. As part of my scholarship, the Navy trained me to be a pilot in Florida. I'm probably best known as the commander of NASA's Apollo 11 mission to the moon, where I became the first person to set foot on the moon on July 20th, 1969. I was given a line to say once I got there. I was supposed to say, "One step for humanity, one giant leap for mankind." But once I got there, I got all mixed up and said the words everyone knows. One small step for man and one giant leap for man.
Hi, my name is Claire Barton. I was a military nurse during the Civil War, but I never went to nursing school and was home taught. My first experience of nursing someone was when my brother, Davey, fell off the highest rafter in the barn and broke both of his legs. I saved his life, and that's when I knew I wanted to become a nurse. During the Civil War, I risked my life to save wounded soldiers and help bring supplies to soldiers. After the war, I helped Lincoln identify missing or dead soldiers and I connected with their families. I went to Switzerland and saw that they had a Red Cross for their country. When I was 59, I started the American Red Cross in 1881 and led it for the next 23 years. I made the American Red Cross to provide assistance to Americans suffering or in battle. I died of pneumonia in 1912.
The name's Ulysses S. Grant. I was the 18th President of the United States of America and a member of the Republican Party. I led the Union Army to victory against the Confederacy in the American Civil War. The South was scared of me because of our success. I worked to implement congressional reconstruction and to remove the hands of slavery by giving the federal government use of the military to stop the Ku Klux Klan, a racial terrorism group. I sent federal troops to South Carolina to enforce civil rights legislation and to protect African Americans from civil and political violence. I died at the age of 63 from throat cancer from smoking too many cigars on July 23, 1885. My funeral train traveled from Mount McGregor to New York City so I could be buried at home. During this journey, passing churches rang their bells 63 times in honor of me and my death.
Hello, my name is Abraham Lincoln. I was born in a log cabin in Kentucky. As a child, I only went to school for a year, so I learned by borrowing books. Starting in 1847, I was a House representative for Illinois for 2 years. In 1860, I became the 16th President of the United States, making me president during the Civil War. The war was fought over the right to own slaves, an issue I was known to speak out against. The southern states wanted to keep slaves, so they created the Confederacy and fought against the northern states. After years of fighting, I signed the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, which made all slaves freed people. In 1863, I gave the Gettysburg Address to an audience of 15,000 people, which addressed the sacrifices from the war and became one of the most well-known speeches in history. 1 year later, I was assassinated by a Confederate spy, John Wilkes Booth, Some people grieved my death, but others celebrated the death of a tyrant.
Hi, my name is Ruby Bridges. I'm from Towertown, Mississippi, and when I was 6 years old, I was the first child to segregate schools in 1960. On my first day of school, I had to be escorted by federal marshals because parents were angry and they did not want their kids to attend. They thought the school should only be for white people. School was hard because I was always by myself, and there was only one teacher who would teach me, Miss Barbara Henry. She would play with me and even eat lunch with me. I never missed a day of school. Without my struggles, kids of all races wouldn't be able to go to school again.
Hi, I'm Martin Luther King Jr. I was born on January 15, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. I was preacher in Alabama and had a big dream for black people. One day, we'd all be treated equally no matter the color of our skin. I didn't just sit around dreaming. Oh no, I worked hard. I passed some important laws like the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Those laws gave black people more freedom and opportunities. We could get to the same schools, use the same businesses, but without fear. In 1963, I gave a speech called I Have a Dream. About my dream for the world, where everyone is treated equally. Not everyone liked what I had to say. Saturday, on April 4th, 1968, I was assassinated by James Earl Ray. I didn't believe in my dream. You know what? My dream is die with me. This is on all of us who believe in equality and justice. I may not be here physically, but my legacy continues. The Fat Foot's right just like I did.
Hi, I'm Rosa Parks and I'm an American activist. When I was 11, I went to an industrial school for girls, but I had to drop out to take care of my dying grandma. Growing up, people were kept apart based on their skin color. As I grew older, I learned more about racism and segregation and what it did to black people. In 1955, I was on a bus in Montgomery when a white man asked me to give up my bus seat. I refused to go to the back of the bus, which was where all black people were supposed to sit. I got arrested for breaking the segregation laws. I spent a couple of hours in jail, but was later bailed out. I didn't want the same thing to happen to other people, so I joined the civil rights movement. It was a campaign to abolish discrimination, racial segregation, and equal rights. In my life, I inspired many to help make a change.
I am Abigail Adams, the wife and First Lady of President John Adams. I grew up in Weymouth, Massachusetts, where I was homeschooled along with my 2 sisters. I supported women's education and was against slavery. I was the second woman to serve as First Lady and the first woman to serve as Second Lady, which is the wife of the Vice President. When the Revolutionary War came around in 1775, I wrote letters to my husband and our friend Thomas Jefferson and regularly spoke about injustices. I always reminded them to remember the ladies who were fighting for independence. The public often thought I was too involved in my husband's work as president, but that didn't stop me from giving my opinion. I allowed no one to read my writings, but once I died in 1818, my grandson published my letters to preserve my experiences and opinions on American democracy.
Hi, I'm Betsy Ross. Even if you don't recognize my name, I know you have seen the American flag. I used the idea of liberty and freedom when I designed it. I come from Gloucester City, New Jersey, where I met my husband, John Ross. Widowed, I continue to run my sew shop making flags, uniforms, and tents for the Continental Army. When I helped Washington design the flag, it only had 13 stars representing the 13 colonies. I showed some of the people who worked with me how to make the new stars by folding a piece of fabric into triangles, and with a single simple scissors, I made the perfect star. On June 14, 1777, the National Congress adopted the Stars and Stripes star flag. As I got older, I continued to work in my sew shop and told my grandchildren my stories. When I died, they shared my stories and made me the famous historical figure that I am today.
Hello, I'm George Washington, first founding father and our first president. I was born on February 22, 1732 on a farm near Fredericksburg, Virginia. I completed my education at 15 years old and became a soldier at 20 years old, first fighting for the colonies on behalf of the British Army, and then leading Patriot men to victory in the Revolutionary War. I took great pride in having a strong moral compass and was well respected throughout the years. I proudly served my country for over 45 years and was unanimously elected as president twice. The proclamation of neutrality was the most significant achievement in my presidency. It said that our country would not choose sides in a war it was not fighting in. Sadly, less than 3 years after retiring from my presidency, I fell ill and passed away suddenly in 1799 at my home in Mount Vernon, Virginia.
Hi, I'm Rosalind Carter, wife of the 39th U.S. President Jimmy Carter. People call me the Strong Magnolia because I travel across the country without my husband to help with his campaign for president. After I became president, I created an office in the east wing of the White House so that I could work. I was interested in bettering people's mental health, so I focused on eliminating social stigma against mentally ill people and made it mandatory for children to have the measles vaccination. After we left the White House, my husband and I established the Carter Center to continue my work on these issues. In recognition of our efforts, my husband Jimmy won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002. There are many people in the world who need our help. I hope you reach out to them.
Hi, my name is Jackie Kennedy, and I was the First Lady to President John F. Kennedy. I enjoyed history and wanted to bring the White House back to its roots. The first thing I did when I got to the White House was make the White House Fine Arts Committee, which helped preserve history and art. When I lived there, I added a lot of famous artwork and historic artifacts. We even found and restored items from President Washington and Lincoln. Also, the desk that is in the Oval Office today was something I found and restored. You may not know this, but I'm also a writer, book editor, and photographer. I wrote 4 books and got my books published in Viking Press. My husband died when I was only 34 and next to me in our own car when he was still President of the United States of America. It was a very emotional and sad time for me. I tried to carry on his memories for the rest of my life and always remember that he was right here, right beside me every day and every day.
Hi, I'm Desmond Doss. I grew up very religious. I remember one time my father drank too much and was getting physical abusive with my mother. I tried to stop him, but he grabbed a gun and misfired, which scared us all. I always wanted to serve my country, so in 1942 I enlisted in the Army. I never wanted to carry a gun, so I became a medic. I was taken to military court for refusing to bear arms. I won the case, so I went into battle without a weapon. During the Battle of Hacksaw Ridge, I saved over 75 men in the line of duty. When there was a short pause in the battle, I found the injured soldiers and gave them morphine and hoisted them down the mountain. After the war, I was given a Bronze Star, a Purple Heart, and a Medal of Honor. Before I was fully discharged, I developed tuberculosis, which made me spend 6 years in the hospital. I had 1 lung and 5 ribs removed from my body. In 2006, I died of respiratory illness.
Hi, I'm Lonnie Murphy, a World War II hero. When I was a kid, I dropped out of school to make money for my family and I buy pig cotton. My parents died when I was 16, leaving me and my 10 siblings for relatives and orphans. To escape that, I tried to enlist in the military. The Marines and the Navy wouldn't take me because I was not old enough, so I waited until I turned 17. After enlisting in the army, I gained ranks and honors, as I did, but my biggest battle was in France. My men and I were attacked by German forces and outnumbered. I told my men to retreat to the woods, but I stayed and called an artillery strike on a burning tank. After an hour of fighting alone, the Germans finally retreated and led to our victory. Because of my courageous actions, I was awarded the Medal of Honor, which is the highest honor given. All before World War II was over, and I was 21, I gained 33 medals in all, making me the most decorated Army veteran ever.